Hello once again, and welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. We are continuing that coverage. I just finished filming the Jim Dandy video, the betting strategy video. Did the best I could, but we all know who the favorite's going to be in that race and why. But this is going to be your late pick five show. So, gonna release that Jim Dandy betting video first. That has the split the pot draw, so you better check that out. So this one is going to be different since we're just doing the one split the pot draw for Jim Dandy. All the commenters on this video will roll over to the Delmar races. So don't think your comment won't count. So put your comment in there so you can get in a draw, and we'll draw Thursday or Friday for Delmar. And then obviously the Delmar videos, all the commenters there go into the draw. So we'll have a nice, decent enough draw there. Basically, the question would be in a pick five video like this, I don't want your single. Give me your best bet or something else because everybody knows what the single is going to be. Spoiler alert. But check the description for details on all the racing. But basically, the rules are subscribe to the channel, smash that like, leave a comment, gets you in the draw. So let's get started with race number 8. And we're going to go right into the PPs. Race number 8, we're going 6 furlongs for a $95,000 stake bred allowance. Decent field of, I forget how many, but we'll get there. Very stormy starts us off. And what I look for here, obviously, is speed. 6 furlongs on the dirt. Saratoga is, you still have to deal with that heavy footed stretch drive, but it is still a very speed friendly type track. Rail post is 27%, but this one just doesn't have the speed the other ones do. The pars I'm looking for are 191s, and this one's running in the 80s and a 66 speed figure. So I don't know if it was just the first off the layoff, so it could improve, but I mean, we're talking 70s, so I need a little bit better than that. Now, my dude, Stewie. So Stewie was a long shot play of mine on June 8th here at Saratoga, went off 17-1, was obviously no match for I'm Wide Awake, but ran a very solid second, setting the early pace before I'm Wide Awake went and got him. I'm Wide Awake was like a massive, like 8-5 favorite or something like that. Might even have been lower than that, but Stewie 17-1 ran a hell of a good race with the young jock Chris Elliott on board. So I don't mind the switch to Irad Ortiz, getting an upgrade for James Begg. I think that could be a very good indicator that this horse is going to get the ride he needs to maybe bust through. So, spoiler alert number 1, Stewie's a sleeper. Now these are pre-odds, so I'm just guesstimating that he's going to be some value there. So anyway, number 3, Vikinda don't like this one. May come off the layoff fresh, but 8 straight starts. I know there's other horses in that mix too, but sometimes when the speed is starting to, I mean, it does have good speed figures. Don't get me wrong, George Weaver, Manny Franco, but just not for me. Never threatened the leaders. Been off for 3 months, and the jockey's not having a very good meet. So this is where I get into some kind of different type of stuff where I really did a lot of extra research on certain races, and this was one of them. Obviously, Finger Lakes is kind of like a lower level track, very, very speed favoring, as you can see. But this sucker come off the break after running in a pretty good race in this little bitty 45K stakes race at Finger Lakes and almost got there going 6 furlongs. But then that beaten favorite, but then came back off the freshening and off the long layoff. I mean, you're talking like 7 months or more. Started him at 5.5 furlongs, but open allowance company N2L and just busted him and looked good doing it too. I mean, opened up by 6-7 lengths and was just much the best that day. So I mean, it's really tough to tell on the conditions, the track, the company, because we're in a state bred allowance, which is more restricted, and it's a 95K N1X. So I think it's maybe a mild step up in class just due to the track and the competition he faced. But I like him. Leo's Reward, David Donk trains, just on a downtick, and a lot of races in the form cycle as well, and starting to show poorer speed figures and declining form, poor route to sprint trainer record. None of that leads me to put that horse on a pick 5 ticket. Now, Roofer was the other one that I looked at, and similarly, Ricardo Santana riding, but the really fast 96 was just amazed. So it's amazing how these horses do. He puts them on the turf and then just runs blah, or however, but probably very early speed. and which would make sense. And then just cranks out a 96 out on the lead. And it was just a tick slower of a pace, but not that much of a tick. I mean, -5, -4 is just borderline even, even pace, and that's Ruben Silvera riding. So, the difference in the jockeys, you can, come up with your own opinion there. But a very good win at Aqueduct Racetrack, so a higher level racetrack, a maiden 80K win. So Roofer is another one that could get caught in a speed duel though, with the Blamacers, and there's more speed, but speed is speed. So Roofer, looking back at that race, he beat a 2-5 chalk. America's back, pretty straight up. So I gotta like Roofer. And then you have number 7 busting away. Now this is where I sometimes don't mix with the prime power ratings on Brisnet, because this one's listed as first, and he's coming off a Finger Lakes run. Very good. I mean, he's killing everybody at Finger Lakes. Tons of great wins and some good figures back in May. But he's not running. Maybe there's a peak race coming off of the 5.5 furlong effort. But I'm going to fade. I'm just going to fade Kiber Koa and Anthony Ferraro, and I'm going to trust the Englehart kid, Chris Englehart. So Blamaker over busting away for me. And then here's the other Englehart, Jeremiah. And this is Sir Cartwright. Pretty good efforts here. May improve shorter distance, Lasix added, all that kind of good stuff. But I can't put them on the ticket because it just would have been too expensive to go 4 deep. So the first Lasix fell apart before the stretch drive going 6.5, but the cutback should help. 26% trainer second off. Father-son type of race with the 2 Engleharts here. And then we get down here to Kenny B. And Jose Ortiz gets the mount, but I don't know if that's going to get it done. Kenny B, competitive speed figures, but hasn't been away from Aqueduct. I guess I'll tip my cap if Jose gets him there. I just don't like the late pace figures. But I don't see I mean, it's listed as an early speed, but only a 5 out of 8 on the want to lead scale, and has not wanted to lead since the maidens, second, third, seventh. So it seems like in pursuit most of the time. And now Jose may flip the script and take him out fast. And if he runs one of these races, then I'm beat. So if I'm beat, then I'm beat. Right. And on the hill, I'm just going to fade this one on the end. James Bond, Katie Davis, capable, but not winning a lot. She is on the uptick a little bit, 12% with sprinters, and 10% in 2025, which is pretty good uptick for her, because I feel like she was like really struggling, like she was down in the 5% range. So if she's doubled her wins since last I looked, that's pretty good. So that's all for race 8. Now we'll queue up race 9, and we're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8 in leg 1. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 for leg 1. Now race 9 is the Lake George, which is the grade 2 precursor, or grade 3, I'm sorry, 1 mile and a 16th inner turf, and 3-year-old fillies. So good set of girls here. Raining Flowers kicks us off, ran hard versus Laura Lynn, who I think a lot of as a turfer, 3-year-old division females in the Penn Oaks. It was just a 5-horse field, but she showed some closing ability. She got past Bessie Abbott in that race to get the 3rd place finish. Broke her maiden at the Spa with the distance, same distance, and then moved up in class, closed 3rd behind Totally Justified and Virgin Colada. So a horse worth a look. Johnny V aboard 3rd off the layoff for John Ortiz. Pretty lavish. His Grand Motion, Javi Castellano, made her 25 debut in the States after shipping from Ireland. Got a score at Tampa for 1 mile, and then just kind of got over her head a little bit in the Florida Oaks. Nitrogen, Lush Lips, Deloraine, big timers there, but she got a freshening. Then almost got there with Playing with Fire, winning the race, close to within a length of that. So pretty promising. And then goes to the Boiling Springs at 1 mile and a 16th, a little stretch out, but almost gets there again. So a horse you could definitely take a look at, obviously. And Javier Castellano riding Grand Motion Trains. So next up, Daisy Flyer. And Jose Lescano rides George Arnold. If she's legit, it could mean a nice long shot play. Nearly lit up the board in the Here Comes the Bride at 87-1. Was 55-1 in the Miss Griot way back. So definitely not getting a lot of love at the window, but that's what we like to see. So if there's a big price, this could be I know I'll list a few value plays and stuff toward the end of the day, and I might have listed one for this race, but make note of Daisy Flyer just in case there's like a huge price on the board for this one. So been off for 4 months and ready to go. Lavender Disaster is Chad Brown looking to take another Turf Stakes race down with Irad aboard. Wins their 2024 debut going a mile down here, and then runs into trouble against Miss Griot. Then they put her on the shelf for some retraining, and comes out and wins the first off the layoff at Aqueduct, getting it done at a mile. Then goes to the Wild Applause at Saratoga 1 mile inner turf and runs a pretty good race. Does get beat by 2 rivals in this race, but was pretty decent. One of which rivals was Classic Q, and that this one is probably the non-Chad Brown horse that everybody's going to love. And some I've heard overrated, like the guys on DRF overrated her a little bit, but she was on her game in the Wild Applause. Similar style in the Regret underneath Jose used, got out on the lead, but just couldn't hold on. But that was going a mile and an eighth. So backed up to a mile, then got it done again. And this one I think will be okay. Maybe built up a little endurance. Could, as long as the pace. I mean, it's been in like 3 straight furious paces. So I don't see the pace being that fast, but I mean, you could definitely get a +10, +12, +10 type, like the Here Comes the Bride way back in March earlier this year, where this one actually ran 4th. So was beaten by the long shot 87-1 up here. And was just missed by a neck in that race too. By the way, it was a 3-way split across the way, almost got there. So just a neck short of a grade 3 stakes win. Princess Attitude, I believe, is going to be a bit of a value play for me too. She may want to go longer. She's sired by Frankel. You can see the huge average win distances. Poor graded stakes wins 2% for Vicky Oliver. So this one is really just kind of probably more of a value play underneath type, but a couple of 90s in the Hilltop and Tepin was pretty competitive going a mile. So I don't know what to think about getting up in the first and then falling back. But the 2 lead switches, that's right. I remember this now. I watched this race and it cost her, probably cost her the win. To be honest with you, because she flopped leads twice, and when they switch leads back to that left leg, they look almost a little gimpy. And that really just takes away a lot of momentum, especially on the grass. So I think this one is a good sleeper play. And now we got Pookie, beaten by a week or too slow. We're going to pass. We're running out of time. Altadora, slight class edge with the 4th in the grade 2 Edgewood, another 4th in a tough grade 3 Regret. So you could take a look at it just with the decent finishes and showing up in stakes races against good competition. It's Mike Maker training, so Ricardo Santana, but I'm not going to get there. Probably exotics only for me. Then a good long cry is probably what I'll do if this one wins the race, because I'm not going to have her. Does have inner turf at Saratoga experience in 2024. Ran up against some really good horses back then, but I think there's just more better here. So Mo better than that. And then you got Play with Fire, which is the other Chad Brown. So beware of the other Chad Brown horse, like they used to say about Bob Baffert. But he grabbed this filly up after this second place run right here, 516, or no, I'm sorry, after the win in the Hilltop. Right here, he snatched her up. So Brendan Walsh put this one up. I guess I don't know if there was a sale, because that's not a claiming race. So maybe there was a sale or something happened. Sometimes I don't always know how trainers switch hands if it's not a claiming race. But anyway, puts her in the mile at Saratoga and gets to second by a half. So it was closing, maybe a little bit of added distance. Sounds pretty good. Manny Franco takes over. Pratt's going to be in California. I don't mind Manny. Very capable rider. I like him better on turf routes than sprints. So we'll go with that. And then obviously main track onlys will blow up the whole thing. So if K Cup draws in on main track only, maybe just single K Cup and move on with it, because that horse is going to be just licking its chops to get on the dirt, especially if it's just pulled because of a non-weather issue, and that could very much happen. So anyway, the race comes down to 4 horses for me: the 4, 5, 6, and 10. The value play is the 6 Princess Attitude. So I'm going to pan back up here and double check my work, because I wanted to have the 4. So it may come down to it if some things happen post scratch, and this would be just kind of some post scratch things that I would do if horses scratch out, or if races get pulled, this, that, and the other. Daisy Flyer would be added to the ticket, but we're going 4, 5, 6, and 10. That's Lavender. We're going to go ahead and play the 5 Classic Q and the 6 Princess Attitude, and obviously the 10 is the other Chad Brown. Good Long Cry. Now I may move on that, or no, not Good Long Cry. I'm sorry. Play with Fire. The number 10 horse, Play with Fire. So 4, 5, 6, 10. Let's go to the Jim Dandy. I've already got a video out on that. I break it all down, in-depth video with the split the pot draw. We're singling Sovereignty, and we're moving on to the next race. Go Sovereignty. Race 11. Mile and the 16th on the turf. I like this race too. So we look at number 1 off script. Trying grass. There are several horses in here. Oh, there's a couple of entries here. I didn't pay any attention to this, but Night Jasmine, just one more. So this is going to change. These are post positions, and these are all going to change whenever these coupled entries come out. But we're just going to play it straight up here and go off script, so to speak. Irad Ortiz, Billy Walden, high percentage jockey, second off the layoff, hot jock. Obviously, everything going for this one looks really good. But I think the move to grass, previously, Chad Brown let this go. So that was last year. And so I think maybe we'll just wait and see. I generally have to see. I like going from turf to dirt a hell of a lot more than I like going from dirt to turf. So I'm going to have to see it first. Here's Night Jasmine. Uh, I think the outer turf lack of early speed might be better that way. Ran a pretty good third at Aqueduct on the outer turf, but you can see we are on the outer turf, so could have some better luck here. But I don't think this one's for me with Joel and Horatio. But I do like Tahila, Miggy Clement, Dylan Davis. This is probably going to be the sleeper play. Beaten favorite. I don't know what the sample size is on the 50% beaten favorite. That can't be a big sample size. That's probably 4, and he's won twice as the beaten favorite. But second off layoff, hot combo, best turf speed, all that stuff adds up to me a nice little possible stretch out too, to get him going, because you can see not really getting there on these shorter races. So adding the extra mile and a 16th to the mix, I think that's why I like that horse to be a sleeper. Number 4, Will of a Woman, took the Saratoga Inner Turf and closed to third by just a neck. Her second go around should see a marked improvement. So got that first race under her belt off the turf, or on the turf, so to speak. So Will of a Woman definitely getting in there. Nona Lynn, Chad Brown, got to look at it. Manny Franco just almost popped on the first out off the break. You can see he raced her once. She was very green. I went back and looked at this race. She got off very slowly, and then she was really messed up down the stretch, lugging in and all that. So she was real green, and then came back and she was still a tick green. You can see she was keen, bumped around a little bit. So I think that her turn of foot was just not there. That was the thing that I saw. She was just a little bit wonky on the turn, and I think that's what kept her from getting up there. So if she improves on that, she's going to pop. On a summer day, in the ballpark last time, only beating a length, but didn't look good at Saratoga in her 2 races there. So just on that alone, I'm going to pass. And then I always pass on first-time starters. So you're just going to have to show me. So that one, there's a few first-time starters, but Hello Beauty's not one of them. And Frankie Dettori, a down ticket jockey. Frankie Dettori is just really, I'm not really sure what's going on with him, but this one has done some pretty good running in the maiden ranks, but just not getting there. And a horse that has that much trouble winning, I just don't know if I can get to first in prime power. I just not a ton of confidence in Dettori. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to completely dismiss, but I may just leave her out. So Sassetti, couple of good races, but I don't think I'm going to get there either. The speed figures are worse than most. Track record's not good on turf. Starship Pegasus is another firster. And then you have the alternate entries. And I'll just do the first one because I'm sure just one more is probably going to get in. Usually there's always at least one scratch out, 20% trainer, second time Lasix, second start since the layoff, shorter distance, and a top speed is close. All that leads me to believe that this horse could compete, but probably wouldn't go on the card regardless. I don't think any of these AEs will. So race number 11, I'm going to go 3, 4, 5, 8. So there's a 3, Talia, Will of a Woman, Nona Lynn, and then the 8, I think, is Hello Beauty. Now I may change that if I think strategy wise. I may opt to take just the 3, 4, and the 5 and leave the 8 out and hope for the price. But right now the ticket suggests that I can get there with my normal $48 ticket. So we're going to leave the 8 in there as of now, 3, 4, 5, 8. and not change anything around drastically, we'll go right to race 12 and finish out the program here. And race 12 is going to cover us on the inner turf, maiden claiming 50,000. So let's see, losing my place once again. McHale's, the figures are pretty good, tick lower than the top, but in the ballpark, probably not for me. Poor turf starts record. I like to go with these races. I almost like to do this at first so I can narrow things down. I got 3 horses in prime power that are at least 10. You can see 111, 15 spots higher than the rest. So I start going through 111. There's a 111, 101, 103, 85, 105. And I've already done the figure, and I double checked my work. None of those horses look good to me. So just to save some time, I'm jumping right to the number 7, Faithful Lightning. This one is definitely one to look at. Tappet Colt looks like it's improving. Should have been better down the stretch with the slow pace, but I think the cutback will work. That's a 1 3/8. That's a very different race than the one we're going to see here on the inner turf. Much more tactical speed involved, and I liked how he was up there a little bit. So I think Faithful Lightning, Brad Cox, Manny Franco might be a little bit of a sleeper play. Hint, hint. Got a chance. And then you got Majorca, Luis Saez, Joe Sharp. I was real close on this one as well. Picked him up from Pletcher, hopes to get him faster. He's adding blinkers. An interesting play with Saez aboard, but I think I'm just going to have to let this one beat me. First with trainer, 15% is okay, but first time blinkers, 14, 15 on the turf starts. So I'll play the percentages. Battle Drum's another one, putting blinkers on. This one I definitely considered, but I think must be a bunch of ADD horses here because they're all getting blinkers. Must be lacking that focus. May improve by returning to a route. Best turf speed is the fastest among the starters in a hot jockey sharp workout. So I wouldn't be mad at you for going, but it might be an underlay. So 10 hedge the risk is going to be the chalk I'll take with this. It's Chad Brown, Dylan Davis, very good third versus much tougher. You can see 100,000 maiden claiming and ran a really good solid third in that. And that was the first off the layoff, first turf, good effort. Got to be a pop for the next one. So I mean, you could hedge the risk and just single the 10 and move on with life if you want to. Got Stripes, I believe was one I did look at a little bit, but DeVoe Ortiz, quite the duo. But I have to watch and see. Not ready for the third start. Ski Bum could set the pace. That's why I like the blanket finishers. That's why I went with different ones. I think with this plus 30, plus 14, if Ski Bum just goes balls out like that again, from post position 8, so be an outside post, similarly to the Belmont or to Aqueduct, I should say. So if you just pan back up real quick, you see the 7. The numbers are, this is early pace, just a refresh course, and then number 7, it's 0 through 8 horses that want the lead. 8 being the most wanting the lead. So 7's very high. Looks like the pace. So if you go back through here, you got a 2 presser, you got a sustained closer 3. Early pressing 5, so a little more lead pressing. Then you have an early 5, so there should be enough there to press the pace and make it good. And then Faithful Lightning, if Faithful Lightning gets that pressed pace, I think you'll see a much better finish. That's why I'm going to include them on the ticket, because then you have an E5 and an E6 and a P8. I don't understand that. A presser that wants to lead, that's stupid. So sometimes those figures are kind of wonky. But anyway, that's rounding out the field there. Hopefully this video is not going to drag on too long. That's 8 through 12. So let's take a look at the pick 5 ticket. Leg 1 is a 2, 4, 6. We're going 3 deep. Leg 2 is 4, 5, 6, 10. So that's race 8, race 9, 4, 5, 6, 10. Race 10 is obviously the Jim Dandy. We're singling the 5. Then you have race 11, which is 3, 4, 5, 8. And then the last leg, which I didn't mention the horses, but I'm going the 7 and the 10. So the 10 was obviously Hedge the Risk, the Chad Brown. And then the Faithful Lightning was my sleeper value play or whatever. So I'll probably do something across the ticker with the value plays. But to sum things up on that, race 8, number 2, Stewie. Race 9, number 6, Princess Attitude. I believe the number 3 horse in that race was the other one. That was the 87-1 shot. Don't quote me on that. Check the ticker. Race 11, number 3, Tahila. And race number 12 is the number 7, Faithful. That's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. Get those comments in, because everybody commenting on this video will roll to the Delmar draw. That's set for Thursday or Friday. So, appreciate you joining me. Thanks for sticking around. If you're here this long, you're a faithful listener, and I appreciate you more than you ever will know. See you soon.